We're back in Cyberpunk 2077, and we're going to be dealing with the police, the cops, a relentless force that will continue to hunt you down if you aggravate them. So they're here as of the 2.0 update. So be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. So we're going to be going over strategies and a general way to get away from the police when they do start hunting you down. Some of these strategies may be as simple as just a 2-second escape. Others will be more correct in kind of concept, as in we'll actually be trying to outmaneuver and escape them. There are some silly, easy ways to escape the police, and some rather hard ones as well. So let's dive in and have a little bit of fun doing this in the process. So this is a system where you kind of aggravate the police. It's similar to, say, Grand Theft Auto's kind of concept of angering the various police forces, and they start coming after you with more and more aggressive options. So right now we've got 3 stars, and the best way to kind of kickstart this is just shooting them, really, shooting at them, stealing stuff, running things over, everything like that. Being a, joker of chaos, a problem out there in the streets, being problematic for the local, citizens of Night City. So we got 3 stars going on here, which is so-so. Obviously, we want to build up to 5 stars. But our first method of escape doesn't really necessarily require the highest star count, but we're going to build up to that as things are going to get a little bit more chaotic. So some good things to note is that when the police start building up towards you, they really are quite relentless. Like at a 5-star level, they practically just appear due to the way that like the traffic system and everything is created in this game, where it's sort of it works, but it's not necessarily a perfect method of like understanding traffic flow and stuff. So like literally police at a 5-tier level will just literally spawn randomly around you, which makes it almost nigh impossible to escape in a traditional sense. So we're starting with some of the easier going sort of methods, and as you can tell, I'm trying to build up a 5-star rating where, if you're kind of not wanting to get bothered by the police, it honestly is pretty decently hard to actually get a high tier level of stars going where they legitimately are after you. Grabbing more intensive vehicles and doing like vehicular combat seems to build that up a bit. But it's, they're not really typically wanting to come and get you. They're sort of doing their own kind of thing, which is totally fine. That's, cops are just patrolling around. There's a lot of them actually, density-wise. Like, strangely, I'm surprised Night City has as many police. And when the police are on you, like, kind of 3 to 5 stars is when they start getting a little bit more aggressive on the road. Literally, like, appearing in the distance, coming after you, ramming you, stuff like that. Pretty straightforward. Like, level 5, though, is when you get, like, literally the tack dropping kind of enemy troops coming after you. So we're going to set a little bit of a getaway drive. So this is a little more convoluted, but I think the setup towards this will be humorous to you to a degree, because obviously I'm building this huge getaway where I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to run away from these guys. And I think you'll be most likely underwhelmed by the way this concludes, but in general it's very entertaining. So yeah, we're kind of getting away from the police, so the best sort of thing to do is zigzags and kind of maneuvering throughout the Night City area. I find that you are able to escape a little bit more effectively if you do change and add some unpredictability to your drive, because if you're going straight, they're just going to create blockades, and that's what they're programmed for. If you move to like right turns, left turns, the blockades basically don't work. Like, they just only put them in straight lines. So it's kind of like, it's a cool police system that's aggressive to a degree, but it's also a pretty dumb one in context, quite honestly. So we're going to show off a little bit of the meteor vehicular options. So like, honestly, you could probably grab one of these big police vehicles and you could get away just by destroying them and eventually just getting out of their range. But that's no fun, and it's a little too easy. So we're building up, because I'm still trying to get us that 5-star rating, where again, sometimes it is a bit of a pain to actually get 5 stars going, because the game does not want to seem to let me have that sort of option. It also helps to build up your star level higher is by killing the more high tier ranking characters and enemies. So if you get to 4 stars, you start noticing a new tier of troops. If you take out those ones specifically, it will jump up your level of star activity a little bit faster. Anyways, we're at 5 stars now. That was the idea. It was a bit of a build up, so we get going here. because we're going to escape in one of the simplest, most hilarious, well thought out ways, and one of the greatest strategies I've had. Like, we basically spent a whole stream sitting there just kind of like poking and seeing what the limitations of the police force within Night City, within Cyberpunk was. And there are actually a lot, and I mean a lot of limitations, and you're going to see a few of them really, really quickly here as we get to my escape destination, because it's sort of perfect staging area, you know? It's a big getaway. They're chasing you from the city. The cops, they all want you. They're like, oh no, this V has got to die. And we're almost at the motel. So this is where I've planned my great escape. So we're here. I'm just gonna give it a sec, kind of see the police are coming in. You know, they're all angry. They're like, oh, this V is a monster. Look at her going there, shooting everybody down, causing problems. Oh, they're dropping down the TAC guys. They've got the high tier sort of, what are those, Netrunner, Maniac, high tier, max tax units. And it's like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Oh, they're all coming for me. They know what's up. Oh, they've actually, yeah, no, they're coming. They were confused for a second there, but yeah, see, they're all shooting me. Cool. So I enter the bar, and yeah, they give up. Seriously, that right there is an invisible person that's trying to kill me. Yeah, and you can do this with any establishment in the game. Clothing store, food place, anywhere you can kind of enter. See, we anger them again. Oh no! Oh, the criminal! How do we lose the criminal? What is this? Oh look, mantis blade person coming at me fast, coming at me hard. And I will just casually walk into this bar. And they just stop functioning. So they're not programmed to actually deal with you inside any buildings. Seriously, they're not. They just, yeah, they are not programmed to handle buildings at all. And you can do this anywhere in the city. Seriously, like any building in the city that you can get into, and I'm sure there was like some bars and stuff we could have stopped by. You just sit in and they just give up instantly at any point. I probably could have made this video a lot shorter, but I thought the build-up was a little bit funny. So the other strategy here is just get on the top of a building. Like if you have the ability to like jump really high, if you get on a building and you just kind of wait for a bit, they sort of give up. Now these guys, they still have like a bit of a line of sight on me here. So this isn't the best building because it's still somewhat like accessible. It's still in their line of sight. So sometimes the better thing to do is actually get to a slightly higher building or a higher point. Or generally just a building where they can't really see you. Because you're seeing here, it's like, oh, wait, they haven't stopped yet? They're still alert to my presence. So they know I'm up on this roof right here. So I gotta walk up a little bit here, and then they're gonna be shooting at me. So I'm still in their line of sight. They know I'm here, right? And that's the largest thing for escaping the police. Their system is totally based on this ridiculous we see you kind of angle thing. They still know I'm here, and it's like, oh, well, this is frustrating. My strategy, it's not working. And it's like, no, it's because they see me. So let's adapt a little bit, and we'll just go on another roof that is a little less accessible, and you'll see that immediately the police give up. Yep. Seriously, they can't comprehend that I'm up on this building. So sometimes it's as easy as getting to a roof where they can't find you, and they just give up. That's simple. There's also another like really, really easy strategy for getting rid of the police, and we're just gonna build that up a little bit, you know, kind of anger them. They'll be like, oh, the person's back, the criminal, where did she go? What happened? On the roof? You're not allowed to do that. So the simplest way to kind of stop a police chase is to just die. Yep. Because then, you know, you're dead. They're not coming after you. Anyways, let's jump to another one. So another strategy and a surefire way to get rid of the police is to jump to the water. So the police are incapable of having boats, I guess, or swimming or anything. So yeah, they don't have boats. They don't have anything that can attack you in the sea. If you drive your vehicle off into the water, they will immediately lose you. If you jump into the water personally, they will still kind of look for you for a little bit. They won't actually be able to engage at you. They might shoot at you for a bit. But yeah, they won't come for you. And if you're wondering why I'm not going to the surface, I think the game was bugging a bit because it was not letting me get out of the water, which was slightly annoying. But yeah, as you can kind of tell, the police have well, they're going to in a sec here just kind of give up. But if you drive off like your vehicle, because I've had it numerous times where I accidentally was pushed by the police into the water while in a vehicle, they give up instantly. If you personally jump into the water like I've done here, it'll take a little bit for them to give up, but then they will, because they don't have the ability or the means to actually access any of the water in the game. Now with that, it's a little annoying because you will need to swim back to the regular land, which is tiresome, but you know, pretty easy way to get away. So another option is to actually kind of escape them via vehicles. So vehicles are really hard. We're gonna show like a proper chase after this, like a full 5-star kind of chase, just how ridiculous it can be. The idea here is a big concept you can do is just changing vehicles. Like as soon as you are getting hacked, kind of swapping vehicles, and honestly an even easier way to get away from the police is to run on foot, because they seem to be miraculously good at tracking vehicles and stopping vehicles and coming after you at 5 levels. But if you're just moving around in the environment and they kind of lose you for like a little bit, it's a lot easier to hide and move out of the way on foot. But, you know, for vehicle sakes, if they are tracking your vehicle, the simplest thing you can do is just switch to another vehicle. But if you look at the map in the top right, you can constantly see that there's like new AI cops that are spawning in, and you can't even visibly really see them until you get closer when they actually show up in your range, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, it literally can be that easy, where it's just sort of like hop from vehicle to vehicle to vehicle, as long as there's not a huge pursuit where they're aggressively bumping into you. That's the easiest way to escape, is they just don't triangulate your vehicle. But it's gonna be a little bit more fun to show you the process of actually trying to properly escape the police. So we're a little bit into building a 5-star sort of thing, and this is honestly just a relentless run. Like, so there we go. We got 5 stars. Call your car ahead if you're doing like some sort of plan. I want to escape the police, and I'm sure other people can come up with better strategies or whatnot. I don't know. I tried like actually quite a few times to get a good chase going in, but the police in this are ridiculous because they just literally do not stop magically appearing around you. So this is like, I'm trying to do a purest car chase escape. Like that is my goal here, is to escape literally just driving. You know, just unleashing the driver within. But as you can see on the map, again, like they literally will just appear. Like they won't actually be people that are patrolling or anything like that. And I assume that's due to how the game sort of handles the spawning of NPCs and whatnot in relation to the player. And that's why we see this random thing. Like on that street, lots of cops. And all of a sudden to our left, out of nowhere, another police officer, and then there's another one ahead. And it's just kind of like they literally do appear out of nowhere. The other big issue is they will just shut down your vehicle, so you kind of got to go fast to the point that you're not getting tracked, and that way they won't be able to shut your vehicle. So you got to kind of escape fast, and if things go bad, you just need to literally swap vehicles to another vehicle. And that's the thing, is I'm trying to show off the concept of like literally outmaneuvering them, and it's nigh impossible. Like, I mean, I get that like 5 stars, you know, it's supposed to be intense. They're supposed to be really on you. But it does feel almost at times like they are out of the realms of like physically even knowing where you are, and they just get on you. I also wanted to really do this without like cheating, as to say. I don't think this counts, but like I wanted to actually have to like drive road to road or take side areas like this and kind of escape. Like here, pretty good. This is a nice space. The only issue is, again, if you got police over there, this doesn't connect to the road. So I could have just sat there, I guess, but I think on foot they would have still come and got me. But yeah, you can kind of escape that way. And then I could have ran away and it would have been fine. Let me call another vehicle though, because obviously I want to show a purist chase sequence escape so that you can actually see what it's like to escape the cops in this game from like an actual vehicle perspective. And there goes my vehicle that was supposed to save me from the massive selection of cops that are after me. So that's lovely. Let's try calling that in again. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So a bit of a refresh here as we jump over to this nice fancy fast car. So I do find, like, again, zipping, kind of moving around corners really fast is your ally. But just because of the density of it, it can be really hard to time it right. And you need just enough time that they're chasing you and they're getting worn down and they're kind of giving up to give you just enough perspective time that you can actually, you know, escape, quote unquote, or stop being chased or pursued. which is so annoying. Like, they are crazy on you. But seriously, as you're watching this, just keep an eye on the top right there on that map, and you will just see a constant string of them appearing out of nowhere and coming after me. Like, these ones, it makes sense. You know, we got the red dot. They're chasing me. They're in hot pursuit, and that's totally fine. I get that. Another thing, a little easier to do this not in, like, the main downtown area, because it seems like there's even more crazy density here. But the idea is to use these little offshoots of your map, like these little back corner areas. Pick a spot where it's a little bit quiet and just kind of sit there. Now, the largest issue here is that, like, the breach is already going on. So it's like I'm kind of doomed with this particular car no matter what I do, just because, like, the breach is imminent. Because they're just going to eventually find you. They're going to be all around you. They're going to come get you. So I'm going to have to kind of switch up rides in a little bit here, which is a bit disappointing. Because as I said, I would love to show you just, like, literally one vehicle and just getting out of here smoothly, but yeah, that is never in the cards for me. Also, motorcycles, a little bit better because you can kind of go hide in a little spot, but let's switch rides. So we got our bandit coming out here. Let's show this one off here. And then we continue to escape, and then they do the drops. It's like, it's whenever the breach sort of happens, your vehicle, like, stops working or it's about to explode, that always is when the max tac guys come in. And that's when you know they're trying to take you out. But yeah, this is genuinely a hard activity, is to escape the police in this game in a natural sort of, like, I outdrove them kind of way. Like, I think Grand Theft Auto handles that aspect a lot better, because it's just sort of like, even if I pause and I kind of sit here, or maybe I go off to the side, it's like they still are just, like, on me. I think if you maybe holster your weapon, though, a little bit, that could help as well. But, like, their detection is really, really quite effective in that regard. Like, they are, like, on you. Because over here, I'm trying to, like, dance between the differing, like, circular kind of, like, sonar that they have going on. But, like, you come around this corner, then all of a sudden another one spawns in out of nowhere, and it's just, like, it's an unnatural way to kind of catch you. And you would think, hey, you know, I've kind of, like, dodged them really well in this spot. You know, I've kind of, like, I moved to the side, I'm out of the way, the circles aren't there. And they get you, like, they just detect you. They're like, I know who you are, and it's like, what do? Switch to another vehicle, kind of hope for the best, and keep kind of going from there. I'm like, I need something a little bit quick, but yeah, they really genuinely get on you. Oh, and then the Xbox controller, which has been having its day. So we can get over this other vehicle. Because that's the thing, is, like, I'm trying to do, like, a clear-cut drive run, and it's just, like, it seems to be really hard for me to pull off. I don't know why it's like that. It's like they want me. Well, I mean, you know, the police did it's their job to chase me down, but you can really get into these extended, like, chase sequences like you're seeing where it takes forever. Yeah, sure, I mean, I could go find the nearest, like, bar or food place and just sit in there, like, inside a building, and, you know, I'm not going to be found anymore. They're just going to give up right away. Or I could start a mission. Totally similar thing. If you start, like, a quest, they just, like, they totally abandon you, which is kind of nice. But yeah, no, they really do want you in this one, and it's really interesting to see how that all kind of pans out. And the whole chase sequence, I think, is really quite intriguing, because, like, they are just endlessly after me. And then they kind of got you on that vehicle, and then I'm like, oh, should I go back at this vehicle? But this vehicle breach is imminent, so it's like I need another vehicle, and I'm just hopping between cars, and it's sort of just like, oh, will they ever stop? Will I ever get away? Well, obviously this video is about escaping the police, so yeah, no, that's definitely going to happen here in a sec. But yeah, it has been a tiresome kind of run trying to get away from the cops. Like, they know what they want from me. So here we go. The other thing is if you can take out any sort of triangulating officer or anything like that in your way along as you're driving, that's a great idea. But we do eventually get our big break here coming up, as we do, to a degree, outmaneuver them and get a little bit lucky where we get a bit of a break. I don't like going on the main highways when being chased, because they just seem to always know where you are. So as soon as you can get off the main highways, get to a side area. Get to a place where the curve is a little nice, a little spot where it's sort of just like, you know, you're getting lucky, they're not spawning. And then slowly but surely and steadily the police will give up as long as you don't get detected again, which is why these tighter spaces are better. And then you've escaped the police or the cops in Cyberpunk.